Today, we're going to be running through some of the craziest stuff I've seen recently in AI SEO, including how I went from pretty much zero to 3 million SEO traffic with AI. It's absolutely insane. I'm not going to BS you here. Let me just show you the screen. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about and how it works. So what you can see right here is my views for the last year or so, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to filter down to the source. Let me find right now. So this is how I've got 6.2 million views on YouTube, and if we scroll down to the traffic source, click on external, which you can see accounts for 3.2 million of the traffic, and 3 million of that actually came from Google search. Absolutely wild right there. So I thought, why not do a live Q&A to celebrate getting 3 million SEO traffic from YouTube search. And if you've got any questions, just feel free to post them. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is start answering some of the latest comments and questions on the channel, because why not, right? Thursday night, you got to live the dream. So one of the first questions we got from Black Sushi was, Perplexity makes mistakes with citations. This is going to 100x the garbage found online. Now, first thing I would say is, like, if you check pretty much any of my videos, I always talk about quality control and quality checking stuff, and you can get my free checklist. Link is inside the comments to my free SEO course. It comes with quality checking and all that sort of thing. But one of the things that I'd say as well about this is that Perplexity pages, they were ranking for some wild stuff, right? So they were ranking like crazy. I'm just going to pull up their analytics right here, and we'll find that Ahrefs being a little bit slow there, but I'll wait for it to load. And if we put perplexity.ai/page directly into Ahrefs right here, what it will show us once it finally loads, it's taking its time right there. It's having a little think about it. It's like, does it want to let Julian Goldie live down on a live stream or not? We'll see. But one of the things that I would say is, like, Perplexity pages, they actually de-indexed a lot of their content, right? And so they actually put a no index tag on most of the pages that were previously ranking, which meant the traffic went up like crazy and then went down. And I think it's because of that specific reason, basically because of the amount of mistakes and the amount of hallucinations it could have actually created. Dark says, AI SEO King is back in town. Good to see you on here, Dark. Feel free to post any questions or comments you have along the way. Otherwise, we'll keep going through some of the latest questions right here. So let's have a look what else we got. This is an interesting one. So I actually did a video about Faceless AI and YouTube automation. I can tell you now, it is absolutely mind-blowing how good this actually is. Like, for example, let me pull up the video right here, and I'll show you exactly what I mean and how it works. So basically, it's incredibly easy to rank with YouTube AI SEO now, because you can generate YouTube videos in one single click, and the quality of them is actually better than some of the videos I used to produce on my own channel. I'll happily admit to that. And if we pull up an example video right here, let me just wait for that to load. In the meantime, what you can see here is a prompt example and how easy it is to do. You can actually get a lifetime deal on InVideo, which is incredibly easy to use. And this is a video that was generated, right? It's already got 7 views. I posted it an hour ago. And what you can see, you probably won't be able to hear it on the background. What you can see here,
let's talk backlinks. Imagine the internet has a massive interconnected web,
is they actually generated an animated video, created all the cuts, all the edits. It created this really nicely designed script. The script is pretty cool. I'll pull up the subtitles right there if you can see them. The script is actually pretty interesting and relevant, and it's kind of fact checked, to be honest with you. And basically, it's so incredibly easy to generate these faceless videos. Now, Vision says, how do you monetize this? And what I would say is you want to include links to the funnels in the CTAs and the description of your videos, right? So for example, if you check out any of the videos that I create live on my channel, right? So for example, let's check out this one. What you'll see in the comment section right here, And inside the YouTube video description right here is a link to my free SEO course and a link to a free SEO strategy session, right? And so if you want to monetize faceless videos with YouTube SEO, I wouldn't recommend doing it with ads just because the amount of money you're going to make is absolutely minuscule, I would say, in comparison to what you could make. So for example, if we go back right here, I'll show you how much money I made with the amount of views I got, right? So here's an example, 6.2 million page views ended up in $20,000 of revenue, right? And so even if you can monetize AI generated videos, which I think either you can't now or you definitely won't be able to in the future because YouTube wants to clamp down on it, you've got to find better ways to monetize your funnels. Now, what I would recommend is that you send them either to like a free opt-in, it could be a community, it could be a free one-to-one call if you're an agency selling a service, etc. It could be a free course that then upsells something on the back end once people are actually giving some sort of value, right? And I would say that is the best way to monetize your videos with Faceless AI SEO. Now, these videos are going to rank really well. I'm 99% sure of that, just because I know these videos are actually better than most of the videos I created back in the day that got a lot of traffic. So I don't think it's a case of worrying whether you're actually going to get traffic with YouTube AI SEO and faceless automation. I think it's more a case of, okay, how do you monetize it? And you can monetize it using the methods I've just talked about. Let's keep scrolling down right here. This is pretty funny, actually. So someone commented on the video earlier saying thumbnail. And I can tell you now, out of all of my latest videos, this one with a picture of my face looking shocked twice and an arrow coming out of my mouth, pretty DIY there, got an 8.2% click-through rate. Pretty good if you ask me. I think that's higher than any of my other videos. If you want to see an example of how different that is, we check out this video right here, and we'll check out the click-through rate. This was a 4.6% click-through rate. It never got anywhere near 8%, right? And then this DIY trashy one that I did in about 2 minutes got 8.2%. It's just like, you don't need a professional designer, I don't think, for when it comes to YouTube videos or YouTube thumbnails. Like, you can just DIY it, quick screenshot, you're living the dream, my friends. So I'm going to keep going through some of the other questions. And like I say, if you're enjoying this video, smash a like on it as well, just so I can reach and help more people for free. And if you have any questions, just feel free to ask me as well. So Wild Wagers says, hey Julian, I have 2 questions that can this automation work for newly made channels to rank? And I would say yes, definitely. I've seen loads of new faceless automations start ranking over the last 6 months or so. I mean, I bet if you check out YouTube's actual analytics in terms of SEO traffic, we'll wait for that to load, might take a couple of minutes, but basically if you check out the traffic from these sort of websites, right, it's absolutely insane. So YouTube is flying. I think it's never been easier to rank with YouTube SEO. So for example, if we pull up google.com and we put in something, I don't know, like how to do AI SEO or Claude AI SEO, right? You can see how easy it is to rank for keywords like this. Now, this comes up in the actual autocomplete for Google. So it's an actual keyword people are searching for. And you can see, you can just dominate keywords like this with YouTube AI SEO. And you can do that with free channels, new channels, etc. So for example, you can see I'm ranking 4 times on the first page for that keyword, and we're living the dream, my friends. Let's have a look. If we put Claude SEO, which again is another keyword people are searching for, I know people are searching for it because I can see it on the autocomplete right here. And what you can see is, again, not just 1, not just 2, not just 3, but 4 of my videos ranking with YouTube SEO. It's just absolutely insane how easy it is to rank with YouTube right now. And most people don't even know about it. Ahrefs not giving me the data, but I can tell you now, their traffic is flying up, I can imagine. Now, when it comes to indexing, this is a crucial part of the process when it comes to ranking videos with SEO. Essentially, there's 2 really good ways to do it. Number 1, you can run it through an indexer. You could use something like Indexceptional. The other method is you can just use something like Twitter. So for example, if you search my name and you search over the last 24 hours and we see what pops up, you can see that Twitter indexes incredibly fast. In fact, if you look over the last 24 hours for my name, what you'll see is that social media is the fastest ranking platform to get content indexed, right? And so what you can see right here is if you want to index your videos pretty quickly, then all you need to do is just post this video link on social media. Twitter is a great one, LinkedIn could be a great one, Facebook if it's an open group, etc. Anywhere where something's going to get indexed fast. And social media indexes fast, insanely fast if you ask me. So we're going to keep going through now, and we'll see what else we got popping right here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, this was an interesting one about LinkedIn AI SEO. So basically, it's pretty easy to rank with LinkedIn SEO. So for example, if we put something like best SEO speakers into Google right here, you can see that my article is ranking on the first page for the best SEO speakers 2024, right? And so with this method, you can rank really easily. I've created a whole video on it. I'm not going to show the whole process right now. But what I would say with LinkedIn SEO, right, is that when you're using this process to rank, you can use, I would highly recommend using an old LinkedIn account if you have the option. But if not, if you start a new LinkedIn account from scratch, you'll still be able to use the same process as this. Now, when you're using this process, you want to make sure that you're posting regularly to your LinkedIn profile anyway, right? So for example, if you go to my posts and activity, you'll see we're posting like, I think anywhere between 5 and 10 times a day. If we pull up the analytics right here, let's have a look, see what we got popping. So yeah, you can see, for example, we're getting like 10,000 impressions a day. The more impressions you can get from LinkedIn, I think the better your articles are going to rank, because those articles that you publish are going to get more traction and more likes from other people, which leads to better rankings. I honestly think that Google probably sees the on-page engagement, and then that helps the content actually rank better. Same with like shares. If people share your content, it's more likely to rank better on the SERPs. So we're going to keep going through now, and we'll see what other questions we've got right here. See what we got. GPT mini output token. Let me double check what the token limit is. 16K sounds a lot more reasonable than 160K if I said that. Yeah, you can see, so the output limit for GPT-4o mini, which is the new AI model from ChatGPT, actually has 16,000 tokens. By the way, if you post a question, I will actually send you a free copy of my link building course. So if you want a free copy of my normally paid link building course, just post a question about SEO in the chat and smash a like on this video, and I will send it directly to you on the comments. Feel free to post those as we go along. So yeah, GPT-4o mini is 16K. Let's keep going down. All right, this is an interesting one about Google penalizing AI generated content. For sure, I think that honestly, AI content is only getting better, and it's less and less likely to get penalized if you're not abusing it, right? So for example, if you look at Perplexity.ai, or maybe we'll look at Claude's traffic as well over time. Wait for that to load. So put Claude.ai over here as well. And what you can see is their traffic has grown massively over the last sort of 5 years. You can see the traffic was down at 124,000 in May last year, and that's grown all the way to over 2.5 million in the space of just 1 year. And so it's absolutely wild how easy AI content can rank. This is an AI website, right? They're only using AI to create the content, and you can see the traffic is just going to the moon right there. Same with Claude. If we look at Claude over the last 2 years, you can see their traffic grew from 0 back in June 2023. They're at 0 traffic, and then they grew to 785,000 SEO traffic. And so I don't think that Google actually has a problem with AI content. I just think they have a problem with AI spam, which is totally understandable, right? Like, why do you need to spam the internet now that the AI content can be so good? I mean, for example, I don't know if you saw the video yesterday on my make.com automation, but if we log into my website, I can show you exactly what the content looks like that was generated, and it's absolutely amazing, honestly. Dark Shadow says, would you recommend to start an AI niche site? That's an interesting one. I wouldn't recommend starting a niche site in 2024. I don't think that's the right way to do things, because these sort of content sites seem to be getting smashed, AI or no AI, right? I don't think it's about whether you use AI or not in the process, but I saw so many sites get hit from HCU last year that I wouldn't recommend starting a new niche site. What I would recommend instead is either starting a site that sells a service, for example, like an agency, or starting a website that actually sells something else. Maybe it's like, let's have a think about it. I think something like e-commerce would be a really good site to start, because if you look at a lot of e-commerce sites, they don't tend to get hit so much. They tend to rank better. They're actual proper businesses, and they tend to work really well. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend starting a niche site, but e-commerce or service pages, absolutely. I think that's probably some of the best stuff to start creating. Now, I just want to show you this content that we created yesterday, and thanks to Dark Shadow and also Troy, I've just posted a link to my free SEO course that's normally paid inside the comments right there. So if you want to get access to that, just click the link and you can get free instant access to my normally paid link building course, just to say thank you for watching. And next question, Troy Leverett says, since Google made recent changes over the past months, is it still possible to rank with a website that's been in operation for a few years, or create a new AI site to get better rankings? So it depends what the history is on the old site, right? But what I would say, and I'm just going to put this into a Google Doc so it's easier to understand and we can format the content a lot better. But what I would say, right, is if you've got an old site and it's got a high DR, so, you know, anything above DR20 is okay, but preferably DR40 plus. If it's got a history of ranking, if it's not got a history of penalties, you know, algorithmic or manual, and if it is niche relevant to what you want to create content about now, plus it's indexed and getting some traffic or ranking for something, then I would go with the old site, right? But if it's got a history of getting penalties, or if it's got a history of dodgy backlinks, then if it's got those two red flags, then I wouldn't go with it, right? So these two red flags I would avoid creating content around, right? But if your site falls within this criteria right here, then I would say it's better to stick with an old site, not a new site, right? Now, if it's an old site that's had a history of penalties, for example, it's been algorithmically hit, then I think from what I've seen on my own personal tests that I post in the SEO boardroom all the time, from what I've seen, it tends to be the case that new sites actually rank really well. So yeah, I'd go with that. And speaking for a living, Rennie Godfrey says, isn't 5 times a day too much? Depends what you're referring to there, to be honest with you. But if you're referring to posting content, then it really depends. I mean, for example, if you look at these big publishers, let's look at Forbes, for example. Forbes.com, right, gets millions of traffic, and they don't publish too much per day anyway, right? So, for example, if we go to tools, we'll look at the last results over the last 24 hours. We see what's been published. You can see they must have published like over 100 articles in the last 24 hours, right? And it's all getting crawled, it's all ranking, it's all indexing fine, and you know they're getting a lot of traffic. Forbes get millions of traffic, so I don't think that necessarily 5 is too much, but it's all relative to how much traffic you're getting and whether Google is currently ranking and crawling the new content that you post. Now, if you're creating new content and it's not being indexed, then don't publish more than that per day, right? So for example, if you're publishing 3 articles per day and it's not being indexed, then you're going a bit overboard there, right? Whereas, for example, if you're publishing daily, but you maybe publish, I don't know, you publish 3 articles per day, but they all get indexed and they all rank, then you can scale up, and you can scale up to 3 or 4 or 5, etc. And it's not really a big issue. Paul says, hi Julian, how do you check if the main name previously had a penalty? So what you would do is you would check the traffic for that site and just check, okay, did it have a penalty in the past whilst it was live, right? So if the website has been taken down or it's not been hosted anymore and the traffic took a massive dive, then that's a sign of an algorithmic penalty. Let me show you a couple of examples, right? So this is the example of a algorithmic penalty. This website right here used to get a lot of traffic in the crypto niche. So it used to get like 138,000 traffic. Then an update comes along and it goes down to 900 traffic, right? Now, that's an easy way to check whether the website received a algorithmic penalty. Now, what you also see in Ahrefs, this is why it's a really good tool for checking this. If you look at Ahrefs, you can see all the updates that came out during that period, right? So you can see, for example, when this update came out right here, and it dropped down from 138,000 to like 69,000. There was a March update, right? And that's when it got hit in April, right? So after that March update, this site got hit. And so you can easily see that this was an algorithm penalty. Now, if we look at another site that got a manual penalty, we'll pull up the legendary Chipper Birds, RIP, shout out to Chipper Birds and the gang and Dale Garrett, the legend himself. And if we look at Chipper Birds, what you can see over their traffic is this site previously had 60,000 traffic, then it got a manual penalty and just dropped down to like 11, right? So that's an example of how you can check whether a site got a penalty or not. Sky says, hey Julian, can you show the best example on how to create an article based on your competitor structure and based on their information? Because ChatGPT and Claude don't know much about my niche. I'm going to show you a nice little workflow that I think you're really going to like, Sky. And that's a great question. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my screen, and this is based on a workflow that I actually created yesterday in a make.com automation. Now, you don't have to use make.com to automate this. And I'm going to break down the process step by step for you so that you can figure this out yourself. All right. And so if you go to Perplexity, we're going to then go to Claude. I'm going to take one of my favorite prompts right now. We're going to go on to make.com just to grab the prompt from yesterday. Let me find it for you. And essentially how this workflow is going to go is that we're going to scrape a live competitor's URL and then use that to generate a content outline with Perplexity. Now, once you've done that, I would then recommend that you use Claude to generate the content, because Claude's content is 10 times better and really, really interesting for the user. So, for example, if we go onto my scenarios over here, and we'll find the Claude and Perplexity automation. I believe it's this one right here. And let me just wait for this to load. Here we go. That is not the right one though. But essentially, whilst we're doing this, I'll walk you through exactly how it works step by step. So when you're doing this, let me find the automation right here. Might be this one here. Let's have a cheeky gander. If we can't find it, then I'll just create it from scratch. Let me wait. All right, doesn't matter. We'll just take a live example from Perplexity. So what I'm going to do is I will take an example page, for example, like this one, and I would plug that URL into Perplexity, right? And I would say based on my competitors, and then you can insert your competitors' URLs right here, right? For example, let's just put one of my competitors. Let's put this post in right here. But you can insert multiple if you want. From there, you're going to say create an SEO optimized outline with semantically relevant headings, subheadings, entities, and LSIs, plus give me relevant FAQs and make the subheadings in the most relevant order by importance. Okay, and then you would also put the keyword, right? So for example, let's say you create an article for the best rapid website indexer, like so. And what you would do is you would get Perplexity to scrape this live URL using this keyword, create an SEO optimized outline, semantically relevant, order everything properly, give me the relevant LSIs and entities, and then give me the relevant FAQs, right? And so what we can do from here is we can actually scrape Perplexity, use it to scrape the live web page, and then we can take this content right here and we can go into Claude like so, and we can say, based on the content outline, do this. And we'll put content outline here. And then from here, we'll take the content like so. There we go. So this is one of my favorite prompts for creating content. I'm also going to say include relevant entities plus LSIs in every paragraph. And so we've taken the content outline that we scraped from our competitor using Perplexity, which can actually scrape live pages. And then we can take the content right here to create it. We're just going to say, just create the first 3 paragraphs for now. And from here, what we can do is using the content outline and the prompt that we recommended, it's going to start creating the content. Now I'm going to say, write part 1 of the content. And you can see it's starting to write the content right here. Now, if we actually look at the content, it does need to be manually checked, right? So you've got to quality check it before you actually publish it. But as a first draft, it's pretty good. So for example, why speed things up? Now you might be thinking, why the rush? Won't Google find me eventually? Sure, but here's the deal. The internet moves at lightning speed. Waiting around for indexing is like watching paint dry in the digital age. And you can see that the content itself is actually probably better written than most human writers out there. So it's quite easy to write the content, and then you just generate the rest of the article. You can do it heading by heading, so you can say, right, write this and that, then this and that, etc. But between the outline from Perplexity and then the content from Claude, you're pretty much good to go. That was pretty rough, but that basically is how you can generate the content step by step using a combination of Perplexity and Claude, even if they don't know much about your niche. Paul Jones says, thanks for the explanation on domain penalty checking. Happy to help you. And speaking for a living says, I meant posting 5 times a day on LinkedIn. So it depends. If you're posting 5 articles a day on LinkedIn, I would say that's probably a bit too much. And I tend to stick to like 1 or 2 maximum posts per day. But if we check on LinkedIn in terms of, is 5 days too much? So these are my analytics, right? And I just judge for me, I just focus on facts over opinions, right? I just focus on like, okay, how can I get the maximum number of views over time? And what you can see is as I tend to post more content and as my team tends to get better at creating content, we tend to get more and more views, right? So for example, if you look over the last year, previously we were getting like 290 impressions per day. Pretty terrible if you ask me, right? You're not going to generate many leads. You're not going to generate much traffic. You're not going to get many clients getting 290 impressions per day, right? Whereas, for example, if we can pretty much, if we can go from 290 impressions a day to 10,500, then the amount of attention, money, and clients and leads that we generate from LinkedIn is all going to increase because, the more people that see your stuff and know about your stuff, the more likely they are to buy from you. And so I wouldn't say posting I wouldn't say it's a case of like posting too many times a day. I would say it's a case of making sure that if you're posting, you get as much engagement from the algorithm as you can, because that's going to spike up all your views, right? And you can see, for example, we got 865,000 impressions, but most of those have come over the last, sort of 90 days since we started getting a lot more traffic. So yeah, pretty simple stuff right there. So that's pretty much it. Like, I've answered every single question on the comments today, and even walked you through how to create content with Perplexity. I've shown you how the whole process works, step by step. What else can I show you? I mean, it's pretty crazy. Actually, I'll tell you what, why don't we I'll open up the SEO boardroom and I'll show you some free stuff, right? So normally most people pay for the SEO boardroom. This is a community where you get a ton of other stuff inside the WAP dashboard. So if we go to WAP, once you've actually logged in, I'll show you some stuff, and then I'll show you a free tutorial in a second. But what you can see over here is, let's have a look. Once you're logged in, you can see that inside the dashboard right here, we have a bunch of free stuff. So I'm just going to share my screen again. Let me open that up. Yeah, so you can see, for example, we give away a bunch of free SEO tools, a free course, a bunch of SEO 1-minute wonders, events, etc., SEO roadmap, link builder mastery course, etc. So there's so much cool stuff in there. And we also gave away a bunch of tutorials. So you can see over the last 7 days, last week, we got a ton of tutorials like this. And I'm going to show you a few examples of how we did this, right? So for example, here's post on how I scaled my LinkedIn and Twitter traffic to millions of impressions with AI, right? Because I know you're asking about LinkedIn and how that sort of stuff works. And what you can see over here is that I talk through exactly how I hired and where I hired from, how to filter, and how I basically created a team that scaled my LinkedIn and Twitter to millions of impressions with AI, right? And I document the whole process and give all the best tools for doing this, etc. And I basically show with proof exactly how this is working step by step. So if you want to learn more about that, feel free to check out the SEO boardroom, but that's a freebie, and that's just one of the tutorials. You could see before there was about 10 of them. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different tutorials inside the SEO boardroom just over the last 7 days. And I've showed you one for free just to help you. So if you follow that SOP right there, you should be able to get a ton more impressions and reach via LinkedIn and Twitter to diversify your traffic. And also it will help you rank your content on LinkedIn if you're creating articles. Pretty insane right there. So we're going to keep going through now. And I think we have one more question. Let's have a look right here. It's from Sky, who says, thanks for the explanation, but what if Claude have information based on this update? Just for example, May. But this niche is brand new from June or July, and Claude doesn't know anything about it. So in that case, what I'd recommend is getting knowledge from Perplexity, right? So what you can actually do is you can go onto Perplexity, you can plug in your competitors' articles, some of the latest articles from your competitors, and then you can generate the latest knowledge using Perplexity, and Perplexity can break down the LSIs, the entities, the relevant content, the news updates, etc. Bear in mind, like, Perplexity can scrape live URLs. So if it's from June or July, it doesn't matter whether Claude doesn't know about it or not, because you're using Perplexity to generate the content outline, which scrapes live URLs. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole process. Like, I've shown you step by step everything that we've talked about today. I've answered every single comment. If you want to check out the SEO boardroom, feel free to check that out. Links in the comments and description. But I have to make a couple of edits to my video after this video because I accidentally shared my screen right there a second ago. But apologies for that. And if you want to get access to the SEO boardroom, just go to theseoboardroom.com. And there's a discount code scrolling at the bottom of this video. So if you want instant access to the SEO boardroom, just use the code 40OFF at theseoboardroom.com and you can get instant access to it. And it's absolutely insane the amount of value you get in there. Plus, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me or the community. There's a bunch of elite level SEOs in there, all succeeding with AI SEO, all succeeding with different ways. It's not just AI SEOs in there, actually. There's a bunch of people using human written content as well, and it's absolutely popping off. What else did I want to show you? Yeah, so if you just want to jump on a one-to-one SEO strategy session, then feel free to book that in. Links in the comments and description. Basically, what we'll show you is how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors per month and generate thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot without Facebook or Google ads. And you'll get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets of link building, we'll answer any questions you have, you'll discover the best link building strategy for your website, and you'll learn how to quickly outrank your competitors with link building. So if you want to get free instant access to that one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to book it in. Links in the comments and description. We've got another question, which is there any hope for websites hit by HCU? That is an interesting one. That is a very interesting one. I know that Google have been talking about like the next core update is going to reverse the damage from HCU, and they also invited sites that got hit, for example, like Retro Dodo, to their headquarters, their Google headquarters. Now, I think it's going to be so difficult. I wouldn't get your hopes up, right? So I think the algorithm is so complicated that not one single engineer understands it, right? So if they try and roll back everything from the HCU update, which I hope they do because loads of independent publishers got hit for no reason, but if they roll that back, then it's going to be very hard to figure out, okay, what's the collateral damage? What are the third order consequences? I wish them the best of luck, and I hope they get it figured out because I wish the best for the independent publishers that got hurt, and I know a lot of people who were putting food on the table for their family got hit during the update, so it was pretty sad to see, and I hope they do figure it out, but it's a tough one. I don't know if I wouldn't hold your breath. That's what I would say about that. And John Flade says, I created an article that indexed on Google, but the article has any ranking on Google. Well, if you're booking that one-to-one SEO strategy session, we can jump on the call with you, look at the keywords that you're trying to rank for, and help you figure out, okay, why you're not ranking. That's basically what we do on the call. So when you jump on the call, we figure out, okay, what sort of keywords you're trying to rank for, what you're doing currently, is your content actually ranking or not, and then from there, we can help you and just give you a very actionable game plan on exactly how to rank, what you can do to rank and everything else. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it. Hope to see you in the SEO boardroom. By the way, when you're in the SEO boardroom, tons of people dropping me DMs in there. If you need some help, if you need some personalized help one-to-one, then just drop me a DM once you're in there. I can take a look at any sort of keywords or any sort of website you're trying to rank. And just like I'm doing on this video and helping you live, step by step, I can do the exact same, but tailor fit to your business. Because I know there's a lot of people who will be watching this video back on the live replay, and they won't get a chance to answer and, to ask any questions inside the comments right there. So thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it as always. Great questions there. If you enjoyed this video, please smash a like on it. I answered every single video and every single question and every single comment inside the comments. So, tried my best to help everyone here for free today. Appreciate you watching. Thanks. Bye-bye.